Hi, my name's Clement, and I'm the president here at MetaStock. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is how do I reliably identify trend when I'm trading? Well, there's some great ways that you can identify trend. We're going to talk about some of the strengths and weaknesses of different indicators, trend lines, and then we're going to talk about a system that can help you reliably identify trend by using 3 different setups. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Okay, again, so what we're going to talk about here is reliably identifying trend. That is one of the big questions that we face as traders. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a few different things. First of all, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the weakness of trend-based indicators, things like MACD, moving average. These are great indicators and very popular, and there's reasons they're popular. But let's go over to a chart here for just a moment, and let's look at NVIDIA here on our chart. If I put on a moving average, so if I were to just drag a moving average here onto the chart, and let's just say I wanted a 20 period moving average. And this is one of the challenges with moving averages is deciding what settings you should be using. So I could say, hey, I want a 20 period moving average, and then I want a 50 period moving average. I've heard that's popular type of idea. So we can go in, we can change the color of that. Say that one's green. And I could keep adding moving averages. And moving averages can help us identify trend by saying whether it's above or below that moving average. But getting to a point where you're comfortable knowing which moving averages are the best ones to use can take a lot of work, and they're going to vary from chart to chart. So that's one of the challenges we face. Yeah, another popular indicator is the MACD. So if I were to take the MACD and put it on the chart, the MACD has its own default settings, 12, 26, 9. But it's very one-sided. It's just looking at when that one line crosses and we get the buy signal. So when we have the signal line cross, we buy. Okay, so that's a good thing with the moving average, the MACD, excuse me, because it is helping us identify trend changes, but just in one way. Okay, so they're great indicators, and they should be used because they are used across trading. A lot of traders use them, so they're good to look at. But how do they reliably help us? And that's the question again. Well, how do you reliably identify trend? Well, we could use things like trend lines and other tools, because trend lines are very, very popular. So let's go back to a chart here. Let's actually look at another clean chart. And if I look at NVIDIA here, well, I can identify some trend that's happening here very, very easily, right? So I can say, hey, there is a defined trend right there. And I could grab a trend line and I could draw a trend line right there. And I know that that's a defined trend. But how do I identify that at the beginning of the trend? How do I know that these 2 bars right here are a defined trend that's going to continue upward? Well, we don't. And that's kind of the challenge with trend lines is we're drawing a trend line to see an established trend. So here something is very well established. If I was to grab another trend line and grab it, okay, there's another little trend. But how do I know at the beginning of that is an established trend? How many points along the line do you need to have an established trend? Well, through here, I could say, well, here I've got an established trend up through here, but you've missed half the run. And that's one of the challenges with trend lines. They're a bit retrospective, I guess is a good way to say it, because we're looking historically there. Again, our question is, how do I reliably identify trend? Well, what we want to do is combine things together to make it a powerful signal. So multiple trend analysis is key as part of our analysis. Well, how do we do that? Well, there's 3 main aspects we should be looking at when we're looking at trend. One, we should be looking at the primary trend. Okay, what's our overall pervasive trend that we're looking at? What is going on with that chart? Okay, so if I were to go back to NVIDIA here and scroll back in time, I mean, what is the pervasive trend there? It's very bullish, right? So that's one aspect of it. We want to look at that primary trend. What's happening? We also want to look at the midterm trend. So a little bit shorter time frame. What's kind of that midterm trend? And then our long-term trend. So if we can combine all three of these things together, the primary trend, the midterm trend, and the long-term trend, well, then we have a more powerful signal. We're using multiple time frames and not multiple time frames, but multiple trends to help us identify those signals. Okay, so multiple trend analysis is key. Here's our three different trends we want to look for. Here's how we're going to do it. So this gentleman, Rahul Mohinder, developed a system that actually looks at all three of these. It looks at the primary trend, the midterm trend, and the long-term trend to help us identify opportunities. Rahul Mohinder is an amazing trader. He's based out of India. He's one of our great partners here at MetaStock, has been teaching people to trade for decades now. He actually uses this system in his daily trading because it's so powerful at looking at different time frames. Now, if we talk about these time frames, we want to be able to see them visually. So he developed a system to help us do just that. And the system he developed is called the Rahul Mohinder Oscillator, or the RMO. And that's what we're going to refer to it here from here on out as the RMO. Now, it's very, very easy to use. We're going to go back to our chart here, and I'm going to show you NVIDIA with that trading system, the RMO on it. Now, at first, you can see there's a lot of different lines on here and buy and sell arrows and blue bars, red bars. We're going to talk about all that because it's actually very, very easy to trade once you understand these rules, okay? So the first thing we look at, we talked about primary trend and wanting to know what the primary trend is. If I look at this top indicator up here, this is the crux of the system, the main primary trend. So this is the Rahul Mohinder Oscillator, the RMO, the first indicator we're going to look at. And all we're looking for here is for this green oscillator to be above this zero line if it's bullish, and below it if it's bearish. So if we go back in NVIDIA here, we can see the primary trend of NVIDIA has been bullish since right here. Let's actually draw a circle around it right here. We'll just look at this latest circumstance, okay? So right here, RMO went bullish from bearish, okay? So that's our first indication. If I was going long, I'd look for this indicator first to be bullish. So the primary trend is bullish, okay? The next thing I would look for is midterm trend. Now we talked about midterm trend and how it fits into the picture. So how is midterm trend represented here? Well, this midterm trend is identified by this indicator called swing trade 2. It's this light pink indicator, okay? And what we're looking for here is, if I come over here, I actually have some rules that we're going to look at as we go through it here. So first of all, we want the RMO to be above or below the zero line like we talked about. The midterm trend, which is that pink, to be above or below the zero line. So same type of scenario. So if we come back here, let's look right where this is happening. So here I also have the midterm trend go above zero as well. So that's check mark number 2. Bullish, bullish. And then the final piece of the puzzle is I need to know long-term trend. So if I know long-term trend now, long-term trend is defined by, which is long-term trend swing trade 3, which is this blue on the chart here, or purplish, crossing above or below the swing trade 2, which is the midterm, okay? So if the midterm crosses above the long-term, we're much more bullish, okay? So that actually happened right here as well. So I'll just put a bigger circle around that so we know that that happened as well. So here I have all three trends coming together, which is a great indication of everything coming together. Now, once you understand that, so I can say, okay, RMO above zero, midterm above, and midterm above long-term. Well, now what I can do is I can kind of shrink this up just a little bit because I have some great little visual indicators here that are going to help me identify it. Okay, so if I come down here, I can see this ribbon down here, and this ribbon will say RMO bullish. That means it's above zero. RMO bearish, it's below zero. Okay, so my check mark's actually right here. Then, okay, when I get bullish and bearish signals, if it's bearish, I will also get a blue bar here when the swing trade 2 crosses above its zero line. Okay, so I had a blue bar generate right here. And then finally, when the swing trade 3 crosses above the swing trade 2, I get a blue arrow. So that means right here, I have a full setup. All of my trends are coming together to identify my opportunity for me. So that is a very powerful way of looking and saying, hey, look, all 3 of these came together, and that is a setup for me. Now, let's talk a little bit about rules. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here, just to kind of help us visualize this a little bit. Okay, so right here is where I have my signal. Now you'll notice my RMO went bullish a few bars before. Then the swing trade 2 and the swing trade 3 signals came in later. And that's okay. All of these don't have to happen on the same bar. They just have to come together. And that's what we're looking for, these trend alignments. And that's what makes it so powerful, is when they come together, that's the time to get in. Now, Rahul, being the great trader that he is, gave us some rules around trading to help us confirm things. Okay, so 1, this is our signal bar. This is where everything came together. What Rahul teaches is we want to buy strength and sell weakness, which is the Dow theory, basically is what it is. So to help us make sure that we're buying into strength, what we want to do is make sure when we get this signal, we go to the net, we wait for the next bar, and we see if it breaks above the high of this bar. If it does, that is a valid signal. If it does not, it is not a valid signal. So that makes it very important. It helps confirm that trend for us. Okay, so here it did go above, so that'd be an entry. Once we get into a trade, what he teaches us for our stops is to go to the previous bar before the signal bar. So that would be this one in this case, and set your stop a couple of ticks below that bar's low. So we'll just set our stop right there, okay? So now what I want to do is just kind of follow the system through to show you how it would work. And in MetaStock, I can just go a day at a time and kind of see how things play out. So this is a great kind of rewind feature to see how you would have traded something. In MetaStock, if you're using it, you can just hold the control and the right and left arrow to move a bar at a time. Okay, so this is the RMO just going along. There's been no change in the system and what it's doing until now. Okay, so I have a red arrow. So that means you can see up here that my midterm is crossed below that zero line. So that is an indication that something is changing. The trend is changing a little bit, so we want to be careful. So a couple things we could do. Now Rahul teaches when all 3 of these criteria go against you, that's definitely an indication to get out. But along the line here, we also want to protect our profits. So maybe because we've got a stop set back here, and we've got a little bit of profit, we might want to set our stop over here. So let's just set our stop and let's see what happens. Okay, now we get a red bar. So we've got 2 of the 3 criteria against us. So now may be a good time to really keep that stop. So we're really close to our stop. We're just going to let it be for just a moment and see how it goes. Okay, so we didn't stop out. And now we got a new blue bar and a new blue arrow. Now this is an opportunity in trend trading to say, well, okay, I've identified a primary trend. It's now bouncing back in. It's getting stronger again. This may be an opportunity to ladder into your trade or add to it. So Rahul calls this an add-on trade. So we see an add-on trade right here. Okay, and when we get an add-on trade and we get in, we may want to move our stop up, go to that previous bar. Always protect your profits. Always, always, always. Such a strong rule when we're trading is to protect our profits. Okay, so let's let it run here. Okay, so we're in a good run from 50 up to 70 at this point. Okay, red arrow, red bar. Maybe we want to tighten our stop. Okay, we've got some good profit. Why not protect it, right? Okay, so it would have stopped out there. Now the bar after that, what happens? It gaps up. This happens in trading, right? We stop out and then it may go up or it may go down. That's the mysteries of trading, but we always want to protect our profit. So if I stop out, okay, well, let's wait for the next setup. That's always a big thing as well. Okay, so then we get a new blue arrow. So that may be a time to ladder in. So let's just say that we laddered in. So we'll say we're in a new trade right here then. And you can see it continue to run up and then again, move up our stop. Okay, so we would have stopped out here, but had some profit, another opportunity. So you can see the way that this system works is very well defined if you can follow the rules of the system to help you, A, get in on strength, B, protect your profits, and overall be able to identify that trend. It's so powerful. Okay, and you can use this on any time frame, any trading instrument, whether it be crypto, futures, forex, securities, whatever it is you may trade. So just for example, we'll just bring up, maybe say the E-mini, and we'll do the RMO here. So we'll do the RMO model shaded here and just show you quickly what it looks like. So again, if we just zoom in here, let's see where this is sitting right now. Okay, so this would have been a reversal trade right here. We had 2 of the 3 criteria. So if you're looking for a setup, you could get in here, and it's basically been running along the way. You probably would have stopped out here and then gotten back in and had that run. So you can see it's very easy to identify. Now Rahul does teach that the first setup, when all 3 have gone negative, then all 3 go to the positive, are the best setups. And these are great add-on trades along the way. So always protect your profits, always move along with it. Now, if you're going opposite, you just go RMO below 0, red bar, red arrow, and then sell weakness. So you want to below the low on the next bar to take your trade. Okay, so very simple rules, and you can apply this again to anything on any time frame to trade it. We've also made it even easier with some of the templates that we've set up in the latest version of MetaStock. If I go down to RMO, you can see that we have these different setups here. So if I do this bull pulse, if you're just looking for bullish setups, you can use this to help you quickly identify. So this one just means the RMO is bullish, means I have blue bars right here, and I have blue arrow signals. So you can quickly identify with this new setup how easy it is to identify opportunities. Okay, so pretty great stuff. Now, the last thing I just want to show you is a lot of us trade different things every day. You're not trading the same stock every day. So we can come in and identify trading opportunities using the RMO and MetaStock by going into a tool we call the Explorer. And Rahul set it up so we can look for RMO signals that are stocks that are in RMO above 0 that have a blue arrow and a blue bar. Okay, those are all highlighted right there. And then I can put it against a list. Here, let's use the S&P 500 here as an example. So it's just going to go through and it's going to scan for everything that is RMO above 0, so bullish in this circumstance. We could do it the other way and do bearish. And you can see it's rejecting out about 40–50% of this list. Once it's done that, it'll say, well, okay, well, do any of those that are RMO bullish have a blue bar? And if they have a blue bar, it's going to say, hey, why don't you check and see if it has a buy arrow? Okay, so it's going to go through and give me all 3 and give me signals that are happening today based off of all 3 criteria. So you can see we finished the first one there. Okay, so now it's going through the second one here. and then finally down to the third. So we have right now these two signals, Biogen and Simon Prop, that are giving opportunities today. So it's very easy to identify opportunities based off of these multiple trend analysis systems as well. So I hope that you have found this instructional. I hope you've been able to see that the power of using multiple time frame analysis to identify opportunities can really hone you in on the best trading opportunities. So what I'd like to invite you to do is, if you don't have MetaStock, I'd invite you to try it. Give us a call, chat with us, visit us online, and try MetaStock. See how it can help you in your trading. This is just one of the great aspects of MetaStock, this trading system. If you already have MetaStock, I hope you've learned something about the RMO and how you can use it in your trading. It is a fantastic trading system, and in fact, one of the most popular in MetaStock. So again, take the opportunity, try MetaStock, try out the RMO, see how it can help you in your trading. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've found it instructional and successful trading, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks, everyone.